My name is Elowen Voss, and I'm about to tell you how my identical twin sister committed identity theft against me for 4 years, racked up $240,000 in debt under my name, and how I exposed her in front of 80 people at her baby shower. But first, you need to understand something about being a twin. People think it's magical. They think it's this special bond, this connection that no one else can understand. And maybe for some twins it is, but for me and my sister Ivy, it was complicated. It was always complicated. We're identical, like can't tell us apart in photos identical. Same face, same voice, same height. Growing up, people treated us like we were one person split in two. Teachers mixed us up. Our own grandmother couldn't tell us apart half the time. Ivy hated it. She always wanted to be seen as special, as the better twin. I just wanted to be myself. By the time we hit our 20s, our lives had gone in completely different directions. I went to architecture school, busted my ass, graduated with honors, got a job at a good firm in Seattle, worked my way up. I was careful with money, paid off my student loans early, saved, invested. Ivy, she bounced around, dropped out of college twice, worked retail, then quit, tried to start an Etsy business that failed. She was always chasing the next thing, always sure that success was just around the corner if she could just get the right opportunity. And I helped her. God, I helped her so much. When she couldn't make rent, I sent money. When she needed a car, I co-signed the loan. When she wanted to take a photography course that cost $3,000, I paid for it because she promised it would change her life. "You're so lucky, Elle," she'd say. "You've always had it together. I just need a little help getting on my feet." I believed her. She's my sister, my twin. We shared a womb. How could I not help her? She met Marcus when she was 27. He worked in pharmaceutical sales, made decent money, seemed stable. They got married 8 months later. I was her maid of honor. I was happy for her. Finally, I thought, she'd found her footing. They bought a house about a year after the wedding. A really nice house, actually. 3 bedrooms, big backyard, in a good neighborhood outside Portland. I remember being surprised they could afford it on Marcus's salary alone, especially since Ivy was working part-time at a yoga studio. "Marcus got a huge promotion," Ivy explained when I visited. "Plus, we got an amazing deal on the house. The seller was desperate." Made sense. I was proud of her, proud of them. Then Ivy started talking about wanting a baby. She was 29, Marcus was 32. They'd been married for 2 years. Natural next step, right? Except it wasn't happening. Month after month, nothing. Ivy became obsessed. Every conversation was about ovulation tracking, fertility supplements, acupuncture. I listened. I supported her. What else could I do? After a year of trying, they saw a fertility specialist. Turns out, Ivy had some issues: PCOS, low egg reserve. The doctor recommended IVF. "It's so expensive," Ivy cried to me over the phone. $15,000 per round, and insurance barely covers anything. We might need multiple rounds. "Elle, I don't know what to do. I want to be a mom so badly." My heart broke for her. How many rounds are we talking about? The doctor said maybe 3 or 4 to have a real chance. That's $60,000, Elle. We don't have that kind of money. I didn't have $60,000 to give her. I'd just bought my own condo, a modest 1-bedroom, nothing fancy, but it was mine. My savings were depleted from the down payment. "I'm sorry, Ivy. I wish I could help, but I just bought my place. I'm tapped out." She was quiet for a long moment. Then, "It's okay. I understand. You've already done so much for me. We'll figure it out." We hung up and I felt guilty for weeks, but what could I do? I couldn't afford to fund multiple IVF rounds. Apparently, Ivy found a way to figure it out, because 6 months later, she called me sobbing happy tears. "I'm pregnant, Elle. We did it. First round of IVF worked." I screamed. I cried. I was so happy for her. "How did you afford it?" "Marcus took on extra work. We took out a small loan. Totally worth it." Her pregnancy was smooth. She glowed. She posted bump photos every week on Instagram. She and Marcus seemed happier than ever. I flew down twice to visit, helped paint the nursery, threw her a small celebration when she hit the 3rd trimester. Everything seemed perfect. Then, 3 months before Ivy's due date, I decided to buy a house. I'd been living in my condo for almost 2 years. I'd gotten another promotion at work, was making good money. I wanted a real house. Nothing huge, just a 2-bedroom with a little yard. Maybe room for a home office. I'd been pre-approved for a mortgage 6 months earlier, so I figured it would be straightforward. Found a house I loved, made an offer, got it accepted. I was thrilled. Then my mortgage broker called. "Elowen, we have a problem." My stomach dropped. "What kind of problem?" "Your credit report. There are some irregularities, significant ones. I'm going to need you to come in and go through this in person." I took the afternoon off work and went to his office. He slid a printed credit report across the desk. My hands started shaking before I even finished the first page. There were credit cards I'd never opened, 5 of them, all maxed out. Combined balance, $73,000. There was a personal loan from a credit union I'd never heard of, $35,000, taken out 18 months ago. There was a car loan, $42,000, for a Lexus SUV I'd never seen. And there was a mortgage, a fucking mortgage, for a property in Portland, Oregon. Loan amount, $425,000. I looked up at my broker. He was watching me carefully. "I didn't open any of these accounts," I said. My voice sounded far away. "This is identity theft." "That's what I suspected," he said quietly. "Elowen, your credit score has dropped nearly 200 points. You're $240,000 in debt, according to this report. There's no way I can approve your mortgage application." The room tilted. I gripped the edge of the desk. "I need copies of everything," I said. He printed out the full report, 12 pages of fraudulent accounts, late payments, collections notices. My credit score was 542. It had been 791 the last time I checked, maybe 6 months ago. I went home and started making calls. Credit card companies, the credit union, the car loan servicer, the mortgage company. The details that emerged made me physically ill. All of the accounts had been opened using my social security number, my date of birth, my information. The applications had been submitted online. The addresses listed were Ivy and Marcus's house in Portland. The mortgage? For a house at 2847 Maple Grove Lane, Portland, Oregon. I looked it up. It was Ivy's house, the house she'd bought at an amazing deal 3 years ago. The Lexus? I found it in photos on Ivy's Instagram. She'd been driving it for 2 years, posting pictures with captions like "Sunday drive vibes" and "loving my new ride." The personal loan and credit cards? The timing lined up perfectly with her IVF treatments. My twin sister had stolen my identity. She'd used my credit, my social security number, my entire financial profile to fund her life. The house, the car, the IVF treatments that resulted in the baby she was about to have. All of it purchased with debt in my name. And I'd never suspected a thing. Why would I? We lived in different cities. We didn't share finances. I had no reason to think she'd even have access to my personal information. Except, we're identical twins. She had my birthday, she knew my social security number, we'd shared financial aid forms in college, had done our taxes 1 year when we were younger. She'd helped me move and had access to my documents. She knew everything she needed to become me. I sat on my bathroom floor and threw up. Then I called a lawyer. Her name was Rebecca Chen, and she specialized in identity theft cases. I showed her everything, the credit report, the account statements, the documentation proving I'd never authorized any of it. "This is one of the most clear-cut cases of identity theft I've seen," Rebecca said. "The fact that the perpetrator used your information to purchase a home in their own name makes it almost impossible to claim this was a mistake or misunderstanding. It was my sister, my twin sister." Rebecca didn't even blink. family member fraud is more common than you'd think. It's also prosecutable. What do you want to do? I want to press charges. I want my credit restored. I want her to face consequences. Criminal charges will mean police reports, possible jail time for your sister. Are you prepared for that? I thought about Ivy, about the years I'd helped her, supported her, believed in her, about her sitting in her fraudulently purchased house, driving her fraudulently purchased car, preparing for a baby funded by my credit stolen. Yes, I said, I'm prepared. Rebecca helped me file police reports. We contacted the fraud departments of every institution involved. We began the process of disputing the debts and proving I was a victim of identity theft. But here's the thing about identity theft committed by a family member. It's not quick. It's not simple. Even with clear evidence, the credit bureaus wanted documentation, the banks wanted police reports, everyone wanted notarized affidavits. And through it all, Ivy had no idea I knew, because I didn't confront her. Not yet. I sent a formal letter to Ivy and Marcus, informing them that I'd discovered the fraud and was pursuing legal action, but I sent it through my lawyer, not directly from me. I wanted to see what Ivy would do. She called me 3 hours after receiving the letter. I was at work, in the middle of a meeting. I saw her name on my phone and let it go to voicemail. She left a message. Her voice was shaking. Elle, we need to talk. I got this crazy letter from a lawyer saying I stole your identity. This is insane. There's obviously been some kind of mistake. Someone must have stolen both our identities or something. Call me back. We'll figure this out together. I saved the voicemail. Didn't call her back. She called again that evening. This time I answered. Elle, thank God. Did you get my message? What's going on? You tell me, Ivy. A pause. What do you mean? I mean, you opened a mortgage in my name, credit cards, loans. You stole my identity and destroyed my credit. Silence. Long, heavy silence. Then, I can explain. I'm listening. It's not what you think. I was going to pay everything back. I just needed help, and I knew you couldn't afford to give me the money, and I didn't want to burden you. So you committed fraud instead. Don't say it like that. Her voice turned defensive. You're my sister. I knew you'd understand eventually. You have a good job, good credit. I just borrowed it for a while. I was gonna fix everything before you ever found out. You bought a house in my name, Ivy. A house you're living in. That's not borrowing, that's stealing. I deserved a chance at being happy. She was crying now. You've always had everything, Elle. The good grades, the good job, the perfect life. I just wanted one thing. I wanted to be a mom. Was that so wrong? You used my identity to fund your IVF treatments. Because you wouldn't help me. I asked you for help and you said no. I said I couldn't afford to give you $60,000. That's not the same as saying you could steal it from me. I'm your twin sister, your identical twin. We're supposed to share everything. We shared a womb, for God's sake. What's yours should be mine too. I was so shocked I couldn't speak for a moment. That's not how life works, Ivy. It should be. She was full-on sobbing. You don't understand what it's like to always be the failure twin, to watch you succeed at everything while I struggle. I needed this, Elle. I needed to have something good in my life. Then you should have worked for it, not stolen it from me. Please, her voice dropped to a whisper. Please don't press charges. I'm 7 months pregnant. If I go to jail... You should have thought about that before you committed identity theft. Elle, I'm begging you. I'll pay you back. I'll sell the house, the car, everything. Just please don't do this. Please. I wanted to feel sorry for her. Part of me did, but the bigger part of me, the part that had spent the last 2 weeks watching my financial life crumble, the part that had lost the house I wanted to buy, the part that faced years of credit repair, that part was done. "I've already filed the police reports," I said. "My lawyer has all the documentation. This is out of my hands now." "You're really going to do this? To your own sister? To your niece or nephew?" "You did this, Ivy, not me. You made these choices." I hung up on her. She called back 17 times that night. I blocked her number. Marcus called the next day from his phone. I answered. "Elowen, please, we can work this out. Ivy made a mistake, but she's pregnant. The stress of this could hurt the baby. Can't we come to some kind of agreement?" "Did you know?" I asked, "about what she was doing?" A pause. Too long. I knew we had some accounts in your name. Ivy said you'd agreed to help us, that you were co-signing things." "I never agreed to anything, Marcus. You knew she was committing fraud and you went along with it." "She said you'd understand eventually. She said you'd be happy to help once the baby came." "You're both delusional and you're both complicit." I hung up on him, too. The investigation moved forward. The police took my statements, the district attorney's office got involved. Identity theft over a certain dollar amount is a felony in my state. With $240,000 in fraudulent debt, Ivy was looking at serious charges. My lawyer advised me that this could take months to fully resolve. Criminal trials, restitution hearings, credit disputes. It was going to be a long road. But there was one thing happening much sooner. Ivy's baby shower. She'd scheduled it for 2 weeks before her due date, a big celebration at a fancy event space in Portland, Maine. She'd sent out invitations months ago, 80 people invited, including family members, friends, Marcus's coworkers. I'd received an invitation before all of this happened. Obviously, I'd RSVP'd yes back then. Now, with criminal charges filed and a court date pending, Ivy probably assumed I wouldn't show up. She was wrong. I told Rebecca my plan. She thought I was crazy. "Elowen, I strongly advise against this. Any interaction with Ivy right now could complicate the case. Let the legal system handle it." "I'm not going to say or do anything illegal. I just want to give her a gift." Rebecca looked at me for a long moment. "What kind of gift?" "The truth." I bought a large gift box, the kind you'd use for a big baby present, maybe a crib or a high chair. I wrapped it in cheerful pink paper with white bows, very festive. Inside, I carefully arranged printed copies of all my credit reports, with the fraudulent accounts highlighted, bank statements showing the mortgage payments coming from accounts in my name, the car loan documentation for the Lexus, the personal loan from the credit union, copies of the police reports I'd filed, and a copy of the criminal complaint from the DA's office. And on top, a pretty card that said, "For baby's future, a lesson in consequences." I also brought a portable speaker and my phone, loaded with the recording of Ivy's confession call. In my state, single-party consent recording is legal. I'd recorded our conversation. The baby shower was on a Saturday afternoon. The venue was beautiful, a garden event space with string lights, pink and white balloons everywhere, tables covered in fancy linens. There was a dessert bar, a photo booth, a table stacked with gifts. 80 people. Friends, family, coworkers, Ivy's college roommates, Marcus's parents, our aunt and uncle, people I'd known my whole life. I wore a simple dress, did my hair and makeup. I looked just like Ivy. We're identical, after all. A few people did double takes when I walked in, genuinely confused about which twin I was. Ivy saw me from across the room, the color drained from her face. She was wearing a pink maternity dress, one hand resting on her belly. She looked beautiful, glowing, 7 months pregnant with the baby she'd literally stolen my identity to conceive. She started walking toward me, but I held up a hand. "Not yet," I said quietly. "Let's not make a scene before gift time." Her eyes went wide. She understood. The baby shower proceeded normally for the first hour. There were games. Guess the baby food flavor. Baby bingo. Don't say baby. People laughed and ate and celebrated. I stood to the side, holding my large pink-wrapped box. People kept asking what I'd brought. "You'll see," I said. "I'm saving it for the big reveal." Finally, it was time for gifts. Ivy sat in a decorated chair at the front of the room, Marcus standing beside her. Everyone gathered around. People brought up their gifts one by one. A stroller, a bassinet, adorable tiny clothes. Ivy opened each one, smiled, thanked the giver. I waited. After about 15 gifts, there was a natural lull. That's when I stepped forward with my box. "I have something for Ivy," I announced. The room went quiet. Everyone could sense the tension, they just didn't know why yet. Ivy's hands were shaking as I placed the large box on her lap. "Go ahead," I said. "Open it." She just stared at it. "Open it, Ivy." Slowly, she untied the bow, pulled off the wrapping paper, opened the box. I watched her face as she saw the contents, the credit reports on top, the police reports underneath. She looked up at me, tears streaming down her face. "Please don't." "Everyone should know," I said loudly, addressing the room. "Everyone should know how Ivy funded this beautiful house, that Lexus in the driveway, and the IVF treatments that resulted in this baby." The room was dead silent. "Elowen, stop," Marcus said, stepping forward. I pulled out my phone and connected it to the portable speaker I'd brought. "I think Ivy should explain herself, but since she seems unable to, I'll let her own words do it." I hit play. Ivy's voice filled the room, clear as day. "I deserved a chance at being happy. You've always had everything, Elle. The good grades, the good job, the perfect life. I just wanted one thing. I wanted to be a mom. Was that so wrong?" My voice. "You used my identity to fund your IVF treatments?" Ivy's voice. "Because you wouldn't help me. I asked you for help and you said no." The recording continued for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of Ivy admitting to identity theft, justifying it, begging me not to press charges. When it ended, the silence was absolute. Then chaos. "What the hell is going on?" Marcus's mother demanded. I pulled the credit reports from the box and held them up. "Ivy stole my identity 4 years ago. She opened credit cards, took out loans, and even secured a mortgage all in my name. She accumulated $240,000 in fraudulent debt. That house you're all sitting in, the mortgage is in my name. I'm the one legally responsible for it, even though I've never lived here." Gasps, shocked whispers. Our aunt stood up. "Ivy, is this true?" Ivy was sobbing, her hands over her face. Marcus tried to speak. "It's not that simple." "It's exactly that simple," I cut him off. "She committed identity theft. She destroyed my credit. I lost a house I was trying to buy because my credit score dropped 200 points from debts I didn't even know existed." I pulled out the police reports and the criminal complaint. "I've filed charges. The district attorney is prosecuting. Ivy is facing felony identity theft charges. The trial is in 8 weeks. Someone gasped. "She could go to jail?" "Yes," I said. "She could go to jail. That's what happens when you commit fraud." Ivy looked up at me, mascara streaming down her face. "How could you do this to me in front of everyone? I'm about to have a baby." "How could I?" My voice rose. "How could you? You're my twin sister. I trusted you. I helped you for years, and you repaid me by stealing my identity and destroying my financial life? I was going to pay you back." "With what money, Ivy? You don't have a job. Marcus's salary barely covers your actual expenses. You were never going to pay me back. You were just going to keep living off my stolen credit until it all collapsed." Marcus's father stood up. "Son, is this true? Did you know about this?" Marcus looked down. Ivy said Elowen had agreed to help us." "I never agreed to anything," I shouted. "I didn't even know these accounts existed until 2 months ago when I applied for my own mortgage and got denied." The room erupted in arguments. People yelling at Ivy, at Marcus, at each other. Some people started leaving. I picked up the box, still full of documentation, and placed it back in Ivy's lap. "This is my gift to you, Ivy, the truth. Everyone here now knows what you did, and in 8 weeks, a jury is going to know too." I turned to leave. Ivy grabbed my arm. Please, Elle, please. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't do this. Think about the baby, your niece. She'll grow up with her mother in prison. I looked at her hand on my arm, then at her face. You should have thought about your baby before you committed multiple felonies. This isn't on me, Ivy. This is on you. I pulled my arm away and walked out. Behind me, I could hear Ivy wailing, Marcus shouting, people arguing. I got in my car and drove away from that pink balloon nightmare. The legal process took 6 months total. The credit card companies and loan servicers worked with my lawyer. Because I'd filed police reports immediately and had clear evidence of fraud, they began removing the fraudulent accounts from my credit report. It wasn't instant, bureaucracy never is, but it happened. The mortgage was more complicated. The house was in Ivy and Marcus's possession, but the loan was in my name. Eventually, after months of legal wrangling, they were forced to refinance in their own names or sell. They couldn't afford to refinance. Marcus's credit was terrible, and Ivy obviously had no income. They sold the house at a loss. The Lexus was repossessed when they couldn't make payments. Ivy gave birth 3 weeks after the shower. A girl. She named her Charlotte. I saw the birth announcement on Facebook from mutual friends. I felt nothing. The criminal trial happened when Charlotte was 4 months old. Ivy pleaded guilty to felony identity theft in exchange for a reduced sentence. She got 3 years probation, 500 hours of community service, and a $50,000 restitution order. No jail time because she had an infant and the judge felt lenient. But she has a felony conviction now. Good luck getting a decent job with that on your record. Marcus divorced her 8 months after Charlotte was born. Turns out, when your wife commits felony fraud and destroys both your lives, it's hard to stay married. He pays child support but has primary custody. Ivy's living in a studio apartment working at a call center. My credit score took 18 months to fully recover, but it did. I'm back up to 780. I bought a house last year, a beautiful 3-bedroom with a home office and a backyard. I got approved for the mortgage with no issues. I haven't spoken to Ivy since the baby shower. She's sent emails, texts from new numbers, even letters. Always the same themes. I'm sorry, please forgive me, we're family, Charlotte needs her aunt. I delete them all. People ask if I feel guilty, especially because of Charlotte, an innocent baby who didn't ask for any of this. The answer is no. Ivy made her choices. She decided that her desire to be a mother was more important than my financial security, my trust, my future. She decided that being twins meant she was entitled to everything I had. She was wrong. And the baby shower? People think I was cruel doing it that way, exposing her in front of everyone at what should have been a happy celebration. But here's the thing. Ivy had been living a lie for 4 years. Everyone at that shower thought she was this successful woman who had it all together. They didn't know her house was fraudulent, her car was stolen credit, her baby was funded by identity theft. They deserved to know the truth. And Ivy, she deserved to feel the shame publicly, to have her carefully constructed facade ripped away in front of everyone she wanted to impress. She stole my identity. I took away hers. Our aunt reached out to me 6 months after everything settled. She said she understood why I did what I did, but she wished I'd found another way. She's still your sister, your twin, I replied. She stopped being my sister when she stole my social security number. I don't regret it. Not the exposure, not the charges, not any of it. Ivy thought being twins meant she could take whatever she wanted from me. She thought our shared DNA gave her the right to my credit, my identity, my future. She learned otherwise. My name is Elowen Voss. My twin sister destroyed my credit and my trust, and I made sure everyone knew exactly what she'd done. Some people call it revenge. I call it justice. And honestly, the look on her face when she opened that box and realized what was about to happen, that was worth every uncomfortable moment that followed. She wanted a baby shower gift. I gave her the truth, wrapped in pink paper with a bow on top.